Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC show.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon.
And I am Marcus Smack, and this is the EAC show coming to you from sunny South Florida with episode 88.
88 episodes in Marcus Smack. This is going to be our NBA episode because obviously we're going to do Effort Fridays. And when you do our Effort Friday episode, we're going to have a lot of fun with our football picks. And Cameron, the big one, Cameron Din is going to join us for our Effort Friday episode to do all of our NFL picks. Marcus, I think, ended up winning last week, so he's the
You keep
one
saying
pick.
you think.
Because we never really confirmed it. We didn't pick the Dolphin game. No one picked the Dolphin game, even though we would all pick Patriots. But, like, I didn't go back and I really didn't look at it, but I think from the top of my head, if I'm not mistaken, I think because of certain games that Cameron and I had and then the Jacksonville game where you stood by yourself, that made the difference.
It's okay. I understand, but you just got to wear it sometimes. It's got to bask in it.
Hey, listen, you are, without a doubt, week one NFL pick guru. Whether you pick them because you like their jerseys or whether you pick them because you like their colors or
undisputed.
Like whatever it may be.
It doesn't matter. No matter what the circumstance may have been, I am undefeated, sir.
So here's the thing. It works so great for you and your character on how you are on the show because everybody that follows the show knows Marcus has learned about sports throughout this show. So it's extremely easy for you to be like, yo, I'm going to make my picks, and if I go wrong, I don't know shit about sports. And then when you hit, you can boast and you can brag about how you're the king and you're literally what's Eddie Murphy's dad's name?
King Jaffe Joffer.
King Jaffe Joffer.
Now look, you know who would really be upset? Somebody that loses to me in a bet. They would have all of the trash to talk. Yo, you don't even know what you're talking about. That was a lucky pick. All 10 picks was a lucky pick.
And then you could be like, imagine if I really did know what I was talking about.
Yeah, that's a fact. Because now I could combine jersey colors and stats. Oh man, you shit out of luck with me.
So this is definitely going to be our all NBA show. We have 2 NBA games to really talk about, give a little bit of reaction about what's going on with social media and in the world. So the first game we're going to talk about the Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals saw the Boston Celtics end up losing to the Miami Heat. Now, Marcus, I'm going to ask you a question. I just want one reaction from you, and then I'll go from there. Do you think Boston choked, or do you think the Miami Heat deserved to win that game?
I think Miami put the pressure on. I think Miami definitely put the pressure on.
See, in my opinion, Marcus, in all personal, I think that Boston choked. Even with Kemba Walker having a bad game, you had Tatum that had a really good game, you had Marcus Smart that had a really good game, and they had the lead, and they literally blew it down the stretch by taking ill-advised shots. They stopped playing team ball, became one-on-one, just Tatum or Kemba Walker. They pretty much forgot about Jaylen Brown. They forgot about Marcus Smart. They weren't getting other people involved. It was literally just them 2 characters going at it. Now, mind you, I don't have a problem with them going at it. They're good players. But when you play team ball, it becomes easier. It's less pressure on everybody. You're more trying to get the better shot and not just one shot. So
and I think above all, not to cut you, I think above all, when you play team ball, that forces the other team to really play and really push it.
And that's exactly why I think the Miami Heat won the game, because they played team ball. You had Tyler Hero shooting shots and hitting. You had Jay Crowder hitting. You had Jimmy Butler, who wasn't really having that big of a game. All of a sudden, in the fourth quarter, started making really, really tough shots, a 3 and then an and 1 or whatever it may be. Bam Adebayo with probably the biggest block behind LeBron James' block in the finals in playoff history. Marcus, if you can input a picture into this part right here, it literally shows Bam Adebayo's hand without being inside of the rim, hovering outside of the rim while Jason Tatum is trying to dunk on him. And with his left hand, he literally just rejects the ball and blocks it. It was an amazing, amazing block. Tatum looked like he was going to put him on a poster. He was literally going to be a poster.
Can we compare it to a Kawhi Leonard block?
Kawhi Leonard block was more with the middle finger, so that's a lot more impressive because that's just a finger.
Yeah.
But this has more to it because it was the game-winning shot. Like literally, Tatum is going to win the game if he dunks this. You understand?
Yeah. These guys definitely played an excellent game. Just for the record, I'm checking out some of the highlights here right now while we watching the show. They played an incredible game.
Kemba Walker for the Boston Celtics did come out and state that he has to play better. He's been having a really, really bad series, shooting horrible. I mean, he's been hitting some big shots down the stretch, but overall throughout the whole game, he's been struggling. The Miami Heat point guard, Dragic, has been killing him. At one point, it was like an 18-2 difference. Dragic is literally pushing the ball and getting other people involved, whereas to Kemba's committing turnovers. He's missing wide open shots. It's starting to get really, really ugly. If it wasn't for Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown, I think that game is a blowout on behalf of the Miami Heat because the Miami Heat play team ball better than the Boston Celtics do.
Yeah, and team ball will win over superstar ball any day. When I say superstar, because it's not one of those cases where you got one person that's just trying to Kobe the ball around. Feel what I'm saying? I just feel like they definitely could have passed the ball around a little bit more.
And on a positive note for the Boston Celtics, not for nothing, even with them playing the way they played, they had multiple opportunities to win that game. Even with Kemba playing bad, their big man Tice being in foul trouble, they still had the lead late in the game. The game was in their hands. In my opinion, it was then they blew it and just handed it off to the Heat, and the Heat sealed it. In Game 2, Marcus, the Boston Celtics are once again favored by a -2.5, and money line they're -135. Who do you think wins Game 2?
Oh man, Boston is an incredible team, man. But Miami has the momentum right now, bro. They have a momentum. I want to say Miami. Give me Miami. Right. And I don't want to push that because whenever like certain teams, I don't want to give you my biased opinion, but I think I think a good way to go for me right now is Miami.
I'm going to go with the Celtics. I don't think the Boston Celtics end up going down 2-0. The next game we're going to talk about, Marcus Mack, is we're going to talk about the biggest, maybe one of the biggest chokes in all of NBA history. We got the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets were down 3-1 in the series to Utah, ended up coming back.
Twice.
But that's Utah. So it's like, that's the Jazz. They really haven't been really good since Stockton and Malone. Now you got the Denver Nuggets being down 3-1 to the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Clippers choke Marcus Mack. You caught the tail end of that game. Please explain what did you think about the end of that game, Marcus?
They definitely choked. But like I told you, towards the end of that game, I just started to see them like they just gave up. Like they lost all hope. They lost all faith. They just gave up.
I sent you multiple pictures today, Marcus, of what Jokic looked like when he was a little kid. He looked like the little kid that was literally in the cafeteria eating the peanut butter cookies nonstop.
Yeah.
And this is who sent Playoff P, Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Mr. Magic City Chicken Wings. He sent Kawhi Leonard. He sent him and Jamal Murray and them boys up in Denver, sent all of these cats packing.
And you know what? That Kawhi Leonard, that's the one that I hated to see lose. I didn't want to see him lose. But I told you, because I felt like Murray just wanted it more. That team, Denver wanted it more. That was just in my personal opinion.
And put it into this part right here of the show, Marcus Mack. On Instagram, the score put Kawhi Leonard's head on a bricklayer, and he was just throwing mad bricks. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether Kawhi was hurt or whatever it may be. It just wasn't him. And look, I'm here for all of the trolling that has been going on between, Damian Lillard and Patrick Beverley and Paul. This has been great because they were clowning Damian Lillard when Damian Lillard got exited out of the playoffs. And Damian Lillard came back real quick, and he literally just unloaded on all of them. Paul George took a shot off the side of the backboard, and it was like, yo, that shot looked good to me.
Yeah, man. Let me ask you a question, right? Because I know, with the playoffs and just even with a regular game, it was like being in a bubble, no fans in the seats. It's not going to be as intense, right? Do you feel the intensity? Like, do you think it's still that same level of intensity as normal?
You know that famous line by Rick Ross? You wasn't with me shooting in the gym. It doesn't matter. Like, these are players that you have to understand that have come from humble beginnings. There weren't people watching them in the gym other than their family members. That's irrelevant. Like, in all actuality, they can play in open gyms. Like, nobody in there. They don't care. They're workers.
Playing hard.
They put in that work. The intensity level is just being competitive and playing. They don't care if it's 19,000 watching or if it's 19. It doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, me watching it, it feels the same way. You know, because I remember people saying, "Oh, it's not going to be the same. No fans in the seats." Man, listen, these guys are playing high intensity. When you see a team like Denver, you know, come back 3-1. You know what I'm saying? These guys are playing ball. They are balling. And since Damian Lillard, when I was saying we're seeing all of these guys choking, you know what I'm saying? When he was doing them game winners, shooting from the logo and all that, and we say like, yo, these guys are choking. When we seen Brooklyn catch that win, and you're like, yo, what's going on here? And I say, yo, the end of the season here, we're gonna see a whole lot of upsets, and we watching it right before our eyes.
Of course, without question. The thing is that in all actuality, Marcus, they don't want to call it a COVID championship. They don't look at it like that. The competitive spirit in them sees it as an NBA Finals. We are trying to get an NBA Finals. We don't care if it's in Mickey Mouse's house in Disneyland. We don't care if it's in Denver. We don't care if it's in LA. We don't care if it's in Boston or Miami. We don't care. We just want to win a championship. That's how they feel. They really do feel like that, Marcus. And shout out to the Denver Nuggets because they have all the heart in the world. They realized really early in that series, like, yo, we can't compete with these guys playing ball the way we're playing. And they literally went to a point where they just started speeding up the game, constant handoff from Jokic to Murray, play Porter, play Grant, play this person. They were just going in real fast. I swear, Jokic just looked like a video game player out there as big as he was, just constantly moving, nonstop, pick and roll, two-man game, pass it out. He was just moving nonstop, which made things easier for everybody else. And Jamal Murray was able to get off and have a career night. Now, you and I both know the real reason why Jamal Murray does not want to leave that bubble.
Of course. I mean, of course, you know, it's going to be the same situation in the bubble, outside the bubble. But listen, man, I just feel like them boys want it. They want it, man. Now, how do you feel about Denver, LA, though? Denver, Lakers.
If Denver can keep the tempo, if Denver can keep playing the way they're playing, they definitely 100% can cause problems for the Lakers because of their efficiency to score at a rapid rate. Like, for example, I just break it down as simple as possible. If I have 10 possessions and I'm scoring on 8, do you know how hard it is for you to score on 9? So that's the key thing. The key thing is consistency. How efficient and consistent can the Denver Nuggets be? If the Denver Nuggets are going to score on 8 out of 10 possessions, whether it's a two-pointer, three-pointer, or at the free throw line, that means the Lakers have to do the same exact thing.
Oh, it's a lineup, man. It's a lineup. You're going over there, man. You facing LeBron James, Rondo, bro, Anthony Davis. I'm just like, man, you know, I really feel like that game right there is gonna be hard. Now, mind you, I got friends, and they say, man, I'm not even looking at NBA right now. I'm just looking at football. You know what I'm saying? That game right there, those games, the Denver and Lakers games, I think those are gonna be some hard games.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were supposed to lose to the Jazz. That didn't happen. They were supposed to lose to the Clippers. That didn't happen. You get hot at the right time, and you just run a streak, and the next thing you know, you're in the NBA Finals playing somebody in the Eastern Conference. I could definitely see Denver winning it. I don't think they do, but I could definitely see them winning it, Marcus Mack. Now, question.
The whole shebang?
Get into the finals at least. Get into the finals.
Okay.
So, question. We have the other side of it. We have the bricklayer. We have George Paul. For those guys that don't know, listeners that don't know, we're not calling him Paul George anymore. We're calling him George Paul because he doesn't perform in the playoffs like he's supposed to, you know? So in all actuality, what do you do with Doc Rivers, who's the head coach of the Clippers? You have all of that firepower. You have all of these players. The owner has spent unlimited amount of funds building a brand new stadium, getting out of the limelight or getting out of the shadow of the LA Lakers. He's building a brand new stadium in Inglewood. He's spending all these money. He has unlimited funds. He's the richest guy in the NBA. He's doing his part. He brings you the players that you need, and you lose before the conference finals. Do you fire Doc Rivers? This is my thing, and this is why I tell you I fired Doc Rivers. You had less to work with, right? And that was your reasoning for getting to where you got. I completely and utterly altered the whole team. I'm talking about going from when Chris Paul was on the Lakers, and you had on the Clippers, sorry. And you had Blake Griffin on the Clippers as well. That's how far back I'm going. I'm going 3 teams ago when Chris Paul played for the Los Angeles Clippers. Doc Rivers was the head coach. And you felt like you didn't have the proper groceries for the recipe that you need to make. I sit here and I then take control of the team, and then I bring in all of these guys to help you get to where you got to get, and you still can't get there?
That's tough.
That's like, listen to me, that's like in the movie Carlito's Way, right? When Carlito goes over to Pachanga and he gives Pachanga all the instructions on what to do, and Pachanga still fucks it up. It's like, yo, what are you doing?
Pachanga was a blithering idiot. Doc Rivers is really a great coach. He's a great coach. Doc Rivers is a great coach. Or I can't even lie. After the game, he was just looking so disappointed, and he swallowed it like he wanted to say something so bad. Obviously, he couldn't.
Because he deflected it off the players, and he took blame. He's a great players coach. That's what you're supposed to do, Marcus Mack.
Right.
But in all actuality, at the end of the day, it falls on the players. Like you said, the players gave up. At one point, you had a 7-point lead in the third quarter, and all of a sudden, in less than 8 minutes, it was transferred to a 7-point lead to the Denver Nuggets. And then next thing you know, you were down by 20 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, down by 20. And I think that lead started from the beginning of the fourth quarter, but it was like 20. They was at a 20-point lead with like 3 minutes left in the game.
Do you feel like Doc Rivers got outcoached by Coach Malone?
Yeah.
I do. I saw when the momentum shifted and they were up 7 and all of a sudden they got down 7, I felt like he didn't use proper timeouts to stop the bleeding. He literally just kept letting him play. There was one moment where the referees even thought he called timeout, and he was like, nope, keep playing. And it's like, yo, what are you doing? You need a timeout right now. I'm not even a professional coach. And if I was coaching that team, I would have called the timeout at that moment because you have to stop the run. You have to stop the bleeding. You have to get these guys focused on, look, we're not running team ball. We're not running any of our set offensive plays. We're just playing AAU, Drew League basketball. We're just going out there playing pickup. We're not doing what got us here.
And that was a big problem. I don't think they was following the formula. I don't think they was following the formula that they've been had.
That's a great way of putting it, Marcus. I agree. I don't think
Yeah.
I think they got away from work. And that's how they ended up getting, their rear ends handed to them, because the Denver Nuggets deserved everything they got out of that series. They fought, blood, sweat, and tears, you name it, all that good shit. They literally deserved that victory. And they're going to face the Lakers. So now I got a question.
But then big shout outs before we go on to the Lakers. Big shout outs to Denver and their defense though.
Yeah.
Their defense was immaculate.
So who you got? The Los Angeles Lakers or the Denver Nuggets? Game 1.
LA.
I'm gonna go with Denver. I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Denver. If you would have picked Denver, I would have went with LA. So I'm gonna go with Denver. just to make it spicy on the show, Marcus Mack.
Give me give me Los Angeles. I think game 1 they're gonna come out fighting. And let's not forget, man. Let's not forget Denver 3-1 twice. Let's not forget. They got the juice.
They do got it. So they could be on the brink of elimination and still make it happen. So that's pretty cool to know that, you know what, they'll never be out of a fight. Real talk, Marcus Mack. So listen, this is episode 88. On episode 89, we're literally gonna do week 2 picks. We're going to take our week 2 picks with all the lines. We're going to have Cameron Dinnan on. It's our Effort Friday episode. We had a lot of fun doing it. We had a great response last week. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. I'm Emilio A. Colon. That is Marcus Mack. And we'll check you out episode 89.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC show.